AV SuperFriends On Topic is an independent production wholly owned and operated by AV SuperFriends LLC. For the highest quality recording of all of our shows, visit avsuperfriends.com. This is AV SuperFriends On Topic, a 30-minute monthly roundtable focused on a single topic. This discussion will be opinionated, to the point, and saturated with our well-known blend of painfully won expertise and deeply ingrained immaturity. For September 2025, it's the best sounding and most technically focused podcast in higher. You know what? We should change that up a bit. You want us to do a little more touchy-feely stuff?
Change it. No.
Sure, I'm all in. Do it.
It's the most
touchy and feely
podcast in higher. Well, just touch and feeling stuff.
This is making me uncomfortable.
Yes. So, yeah. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Grape.
Yeah, that's a good
Ooh,
one.
I have a new
Grape.
There's a great flavor of ice cream?
Sure. Probably.
What?
Watermelon.
Probably.
Which piece of
Grape
software do you use has the
or-
most healing energy for you?
Strawberry.
Strawberry
ice
does,
cream.
yes. Yep.
So,
All right,
Strawberry
I'm already
soft-
bored of these topics. We're going to move on. So,
Okay.
where did we stand up? This is where did we leave off here? We are doing a show here. Where's my notes? There they are. This is AV SuperFriends On Topic, episode number 62. Broadcasting live from the AVSF Traffic and Weather Desk. It's a sunny 82 degrees across campus with scattered parents double parked in front of every dorm.
What?
Expect delays and slowdowns near the student union due to a 3-mile backup of freshmen carrying mini fridges. Over in the AV Weather Center, it's looking cloudy with a chance of panicked faculty calling because the projector ate their PowerPoint again.
Oh, you have no idea.
Winds light and variable, mostly from the size of IT staff who are already on their 5th cup of coffee for today. I'm Chris Dector, and you're tuned in for another Friday afternoon podcast adventure. And let's say hello to today's panel of AV SuperFriends with
I don't
this
have the
button.
notes pulled up.
Hello.
He specializes in sprinting into lecture halls when it worked yesterday no longer applies. He's a first day of class HDMI emergency response coordinator from Kansas City. Say hello to Jamie Reinhardt. Good commentary. Our next panelist calms incoming students who can't remember their own passwords but swear the internet is broken. He's an assistant provost for freshman Wi-Fi panic containment from Greensboro, North Carolina. Say hello to Larry Darling.
yeah, we are all in support here.
And our final panelist mandates that course outlines remain readable from the last row without a spotting scope. He's our vice president for font size compliance from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Say hello to Mr. Justin Rexing.
Actually,
That's pretty close.
pretty close.
That's what he
It's
does.
like, it's like the most accurate one yet, I think.
That's
I don't know if that's a demotion, but accuracy is spot on.
Still a vice president. Cool.
Yeah.
So on today's show, we're going to discuss our various back-to-school preparations, which might be why we hate August and September, because we're all spinning up for school again, or maybe we love it. I don't know. Also going to talk specifically about what we were doing 10 years ago for our back-to-school fun stuff. But first, some housekeeping. So before we jump in, just a few quick things to remember. If you're listening to this recording later, we do stream this show live Fridays at around 1:15. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I did the math wrong. 3:15 Eastern, 12:15 Pacific, or whenever we get our act together. You can catch us on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and sometimes we'll figure out how to take calls when I get that set back up again, which I've now broken.
2:21 Central.
What's 2:21? The time?
Yeah,
We're a few minutes late. So.
Yeah.
If you can't make the live show, please follow us on the socials. You can find us on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Blue Sky, etc. Just search for AV SuperFriends. We're the ones with very, very clear opinions on things. If you'd like to support the show, please tell a friend, tell a coworker, tell that guy who still calls every room a Zoom room. Share the podcast with anyone who might find it useful, entertaining, or vaguely tolerable. You can throw us a few bucks using the donation link, or not just a few bucks, throw us a lot of bucks. Using the donation link in the show notes or on the website at avsuperfriends.com. We will put that money to good use, mainly getting this stuff off my Visa card. And finally, we do want to hear from you. Email your ideas, questions, concerns, any of that fun stuff to mailbag@avsuperfriends.com or drop a comment on those aforementioned socials. And finally, please leave a rating and review for us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, etc. Wherever you are listening to this, it does help, and it convinces the algorithm that we're important. By the way, I got a couple of emails from people who asked what's wrong with Apple Podcasts as an application. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just missing a bunch of features. So
What
find other
features?
ones. So, for example, Apple does their own transcript, not the transcript that I write that actually has our name spelled correctly. So there's that.
Whoa,
Apple
whoa,
doesn't
whoa.
support chapters, which we do break up, and so depending on which application you're in, there'll be chapters that skip through things. Apple also does not reliably change the artwork for every
There.
episode.
That's the fun one.
That's
Yeah,
a
so you'll go back and see all the old episodes, and it also doesn't reliably change the artwork for the feed, which I do update. So for the newest episode out there, so the feed artwork is different, and then you have the show art for every episode. So, anyway, there's a bunch of other stuff it doesn't do, but we don't do it either, as far as donations and live calls and stuff like that, which you can do through some of the applications. But if you do need to find another one, head over to podcastapps.com, and there's a bunch there for Android or iOS or whatever you want. There's lots to look at in there.
It's kind of like the Alcam. Like it's really easy, but if you're on the other end of it, it sucks ass.
Yeah. You don't realize what you're missing.
Justin, I'm going to have to cancel. We were going to run a commercial right now from our friends at Owl Labs, but I'm going to take
I
that
kind
one
of
out.
forgot
gonna
we were
work
recording.
anymore.
I thought. No, I mean, truth hurts.
Did I-
It's just
Did I tell you about my back to school experience with the Alcam this year?
Go for it.
You're
Now
already
that you
was a-
started, you got to tell us.
There was
So
a
you found
meeting
out
scheduled.
You
in
worked
a
with the
200
football
seat
team, and you now know how yards it can be kicked.
Oh,
There was a
man.
meeting scheduled in a 200-seat active learning room, which is still a bad idea, and they asked how to set up the Alcam to work in that space.
What'd you do?
Where did you do with it?
I
what'd you-
walked over there and explained to them that room was built with equipment in place.
No, but we want
that-
to use this.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, no.
Did you take it from him?
I did not take it from them, but I put it back in the box and handed them the box.
Just take,
And
just take the power supply.
Those are the times where you're just kind of like, okay, everybody, I need you to move the tables and just set it right there in the middle of the floor with the laptop and be like, everybody gather around, campfire style,
yeah.
Um,
If we're going to do it, let's do it.
kumbaya, and it should work. Cheated me Christmas.
Yeah, those things, I don't know where they hide during the year, and then they show back up for orientations or something like that.
Well, I think they hibernate and then they rehatch somehow.
Migrate.
Rehatch.
And if you're not careful,
They
I was-
fly away and then hatch again.
Yeah, I was accidentally browsing around and came across one that will
Wait.
hatch on your whiteboard now. It'll just
I saw
act right
this-
up.
Accidentally browsing around?
Yeah, I didn't. Well, okay, so I was researching whiteboard cameras, and then that was like
were you
there. And I
really
was like, what the hell is that? And it looks like an owl winking at you. It's like, so go look at it. It sounds like we're sponsored by them, kind of, but we're not.
No.
I don't mean to keep talking about this. This is completely derailing.
There's
what
no
we were
chance
supposed
we
to be
will
talking
ever
about,
be sponsored
so.
by them. So
It would be hilarious if we were. Though.
Hey,
We're not gonna-
you're at Owl Labs. Reach out. We'll talk.
Hey, we'll talk.
Hey, like
Can you get honest
good
feedback?
and
I mean,
bad marketing
owls
is
and those-
marketing, right? Or whatever.
Those
they say.
360 style cameras have a place. It's just usually, to Larry, to your point, in a much, much, much smaller place than people think it can go. So, and by the way, this is just free advice since we're talking about it. The rule of thumb for those 360 cameras, because we have ones made not by Owl as well on campus. There's 3 rules that work and guarantee it's going to be successful. Is one, physical space. Is it in a place where everybody around it can almost touch it? If you can almost reach it from where you're seated, then it's about the right size space.
What if you have 7-foot arms?
Well, hold on. 2,
Okay.
there can't be any other AV system in the space. That has to be the system. If you have a Larry, like you were describing, this room's already kitted out. You don't need all this stuff. If you try to use it in there, you're going to get feedback. It's going to pick up the wrong mics. It's going to be just a mess. It's going to be a problem. And what was my third one?
I have a
rule.
third if you don't.
What's the third rule?
Well, I have a conference room where we sometimes use a different manufacturer 360 camera, and it has glass whiteboards in it. Well, it takes the image from the large display at the front of the room and reflects it on those glass whiteboards, and it treats
Oh,
that
so it sees
as
that as a
another
person? Yes.
So
Which one-
if
which-
you have that, no glass whiteboards.
For any whiteboard camera, I guess it's probably.
That's a good point. Now I'm curious.
I never even thought about that. That's a stupid problem, man. I don't even.
Well, a lot of them will let you set up exclusion. Well, I mean, some of them, some of the higher end ones will let
Yeah.
you set up exclusion zones. Say you have a glass wall to your conference room or windows out to
yeah.
the street, and people walking by, and it won't try to see that person. But Larry, that's a
That's
unique
different.
problem. So you have a display reflecting on a glass whiteboard, reflecting enough that it sees the people on the call, and now thinks there's more people over there.
Yeah, the way this one conference room is set up, the displays at the front of the room, and the glass whiteboards are at the back. Of
So
the
it's
room.
like an
So it's a
analog
direct,
twin, not a digital twin.
Yeah,
but an
it's a
analog
direct
twin.
look.
It's over there.
How-
This is a good
Anyway.
show.
Why are we
haven't-
talking
this is
about
not
this?
I
we
have
haven't
no
even-
idea. Let's move
This
on.
is unscripted.
Let's
so-
take a quick break. Jamie's going to tell us why you should write in and how you should write in, and tell us why this is terrible and we shouldn't be talking about this. And then we're going to come back and talk about our start of school year preparations.
As many of you know, the Super Friends have always been better received when we have more input from you. So, here's your chance. Send us a note at mailbag@avsuperfriends.com and get involved with the show. We're looking for some topics to discuss, some fellow nerds to talk to, or just general AV awesomeness to brag about. But remember, we'll probably steal your ideas. And I suppose we'd take some criticism, but that wouldn't be very nice. Anyway, drop us a note at mailbag@avsuperfriends.com and find out how quickly we ask you to join this nonsense.
That was fun.
It was. So our topic this month is we're staying holistic and high level here. So which fictional character would be good at your job, and why is that an inspiration to you? Foghorn Leghorn. I don't know. These are all terrible.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Kermit?
Kermit.
All right.
Actually,
let's,
you know
would
what?
Yeah,
Kermit's great.
he managed the whole show. I mean,
He tried his hardest to
He's
keep
got leadership
all
skills.
the chaos going, and
Is
it
he the
never
only one
worked
of-
out.
he's the only one of the Muppets that never got arrested for sexual assault.
What were you watching? What did you...
You guys have not paid attention to the Muppets in the last 20 years, have you?
No, I've been
No.
busy.
I have. I like Jim
stuff.
Henson, but
I haven't.
Anyway, let's move along to
Yes,
our preferred
please.
topic here.
The topic of the month. Stay on topic.
And our topic is
Back to school, to prove to Dad that I'm not a fool. I got my lunch packed up, my boots tied tight. I hope I don't get in a fight. Oh, back to school, back to school, back to school.
So back to school time. It's start of a new school year. We've all been busy all summer, preparing campus as best we could, finishing up projects, buttoning up things, going back to our maintenance list of things we were putting off for the entire spring semester to we'll get to that this summer.
Don't you get the summer off?
Yeah, did everyone have a nice, restful, enjoyable summer just with the summer off? Didn't do anything? Yeah.
oh yeah,
So campus is very busy, even, the kind of that week leading up to the start of classes. A lot of people coming back, a lot of preparation, a lot of stuff going. Jamie, to your point, we never stopped sort of thing. So it was a busy time for us. But what's that look like for y'all? Everything going to come together well, or are there imminent crises happening this weekend with waking up in the middle of the night in cold sweats and panic?
I do that anyway. Like
Oh, yeah,
sleeping
the
like a
night
baby.
before
Sleeping like
classes start. It doesn't matter how much I prepared. I don't sleep, but I think we're prepared. But this week has been challenging. We've had a lot of instructors and faculty who come back
The last minute.
Wednesday, and all of a sudden they say, "Hey, I need this changed before my class." And so it's a lot of conversations about, I can't do that, or there's been a couple if it's
Why not,
a
Larry?
small thing. We'll try to make it happen, but it's just like all the support calls that start rolling in a couple of days before classes start that aren't really support calls. It's more of consultations and explaining
Just
Feature
checking
the
in.
process.
So we had talked about this as far as we were trying to figure a different play on how we wanted to discuss this particular topic. And we decided that what we would do was take a trip back in time and talk about what we were doing 10 years ago. So what did back to school preparation look like in 2015? Have we learned anything from that in 10 years since? Have we done anything? Are we better at it? Is it the exact same process, or, where does that land? Justin, I know you were digging for emails. Did you find your emails from 10 years ago?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So we were
So what was back to school for you 10 years ago?
working on bringing up a new engineering building, it looks like, from a renovation, going through punch list and making sure everything was done. Went well, actually. got done. Did it internally. No consultant.
Don't start.
No.
Not today.
bid,
Today is not the day.
That's next week. I'm fine. I'm good.
When we get some distance, Justin will tell us about his current trials and tribulations.
Yes.
I don't have any.
Not today.
Not today.
I'm happily designing the Cherry Hall on campus right now. That's going to be built way out, and I've got things happening, and I'm great.
10 years ago. 10 years ago, what was the product? What was the thing that you were putting in?
What was the new hotness?
Oh, the thing
Yeah.
that I hated about it. So
Audio.
no, well, no, they got.
We
audio.
put in 70-volt speakers from
This science
Bogan.
building got audio, but it was all open ceilings. Acoustics were terrible, and they love their whiteboards. The apps, everybody loves whiteboards, but they're like a little too much, So we had to do those stupid. And I know you guys are gonna laugh at me. I couldn't help it. We had to do it. Those stupid idea boards that are half whiteboard, half projector screen that creates a hot spot. And
Hey, what?
No, I know what you're talking about.
idea
Yeah,
boards
yeah,
that's
yeah.
like a hybrid between a screen, and it's a fixed screen, but it's a whiteboard, and then it's not great for either, and it's
But it was
just-
really hot. Yes, I remember
Yes.
that now.
It's
It was
just,
really hot there for a while. Like every architect's like, these gonna go everywhere.
And we did
I have-
one
I have them all
as
over
an
campus.
example, and I took the faculty there. I was like, "This is what you're gonna get, and if you move your head around, it's not as bad as projecting on a whiteboard, but it's still kind of
Close.
rough." Like, oh, it'll be fine. Students won't complain. I mean, I guess they have. I don't know, but I don't like the look of it. We haven't got a ticket like, oh, the students hate the hot spotting. Like that hasn't been documented anywhere. So I guess it's a non-issue. I don't know, but I don't know. It went okay. Whatever.
Have you replaced any of those yet,
No,
or are they still up
there? Yeah, they still look good.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But dude, like, have you been on the show at all? We don't replace things until it, like those
Well,
things.
I
gonna
didn't
be
know if
there.
those had started to
They
fail
don't- they
yet.
don't
It's
turn
been
on and
10
off, they don't
years. It's
break.
engineering. Sometimes they come up with a donor. I don't know.
No,
There's a
no.
possibility.
Larry,
mean,
that whiteboard is structural. It's part of the building.
Unless somebody takes a knife to it or a marker.
Have you thought
there's
about
probably
taking a
some
knife
with-
to it to replace the system?
There's probably some with Sharpie up there that just students
Got a whole bunch of phallic symbols drawn on it. It's still good. Just look around them.
Yeah, I'd probably. Yeah, probably not. But yeah, they're still there 10 years ago.
Huh.
I bet the projectors are. Oh, actually,
Same projectors are still there.
yeah, it's the same shit. It's only 10 years in. We're not 15 to 20. You think I'm joking? Like we haven't. Like unless we got
No.
a ticket, like one off died, then we replaced it, but we haven't like refreshed the entire building, so all that crap's still there. Yeah,
Interesting.
it's working well.
Well, Larry, 10 years ago, what was different this year than 10 years ago?
I have
Like,
full-
because
I have
you
some
just
actual
told us
staff
how
doing
this
the
year
work.
is going. Yeah,
Yeah.
you told me how this year was going. So how did 10 years ago go?
10 years ago, I had just finished my second year with Butler University. First year, I was hired to just manage the outside integrator. Second year, I said, screw that, I'm done with that. And I got 3 students to do all my installs for me. And so I was walking around testing all their systems just because they did the install, and I want to make sure, and the programming and all that, I want to make
You
sure
should
it worked.
test all systems, Larry.
I do,
Students
but
or
the
no
other ones
students?
were already working before they touched them. I just want to make sure these work
okay.
after they touched them,
All right.
because they did it all, DSP, programming, everything.
Just don't want to lead on our listeners here. Yeah.
And so, the funny thing is, I was thinking, and those systems functionally are almost identical to what I still roll out today, because I was doing Panopto back then, so I still had ceiling mics and a camera. I have much better ceiling mics and cameras now, but functionally the same. I was using an all-in-one, all-in-wonder box, which I think was it was
Which
the
one?
hotness of the day.
No, it
it's the
wasn't.
same one everybody used.
No, it
DMP.
wasn't.
No, come on.
No.
Which one?
I did the building
'Cause-
that year, and we didn't use that, so don't lie.
Because I'm going to segue into that.
You're a liar.
So which one were you using?
I was using the 250.
Oh, dude.
Wait, the Crestron? Wait,
Crestron. That was the one. 'Cause
Why,
Dude.
why
We
would
did-
you
no, it
buy a
wasn't the
200
one.
or
We didn't do
250
that.
series? Get the one for like $100 more that's got the other output on it.
Because I didn't need the other output.
Don't care. You're going to use it some point down the road.
Never used it. Those
Wrong.
rooms never used it.
Oh,
and
gross.
if I had a couple,
both are
then
wrong.
yeah, we would
Don't
buy
buy
the
either of
350
them.
for those. But for the most part, the 250 was fine.
I'm just saying, Justin, if you're going to go to an all-in-one box and you're going to spend $5,000, get all the bells and whistles, because
All of it.
then it'll be handy at some point.
But yeah, that
guess.
was the
Except the built-in
That-
wireless garbage.
that was definitely the hotness of the day. We had switched the campers from Extron to Crestron, and so that was the
This
big
is
selling
really
point.
interesting. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why? I feel like you're mocking
When
me
you're done. No. This is
because you
taking
went the
notes.
other way.
it's going to be fun. Yeah.
We passed the ships in the night.
So you apparently bought all the stuff I wasn't buying. So tell me what you were doing.
Okay. Well, when I went back through, interesting, I came across all of the old conversations with an old coworker of mine, some jackhole named Dector. I don't know.
Did I work there? I forgot about that.
Yeah. So a coworker of mine, and that was the summer. So up till that point, like the 2 years, 2 or 3 years before that, we had started transitioning from VGA to digital, HDMI, DM, whatever. So at the time, DM was, that was hot shit, right? Let's get it. Let's do it. So we had a few DM chassis and maybe a DMPS or two, but it wasn't sustainable across the campus. So Chris was here, and we went through this whole rigmarole of picking the new, what are we going to do for all the standard rooms. We actually chose the Extron All-in-Wonder, the Crosspoint. That's what we went with. Because even if we just
back in the day,
they were a little bit more expensive. Well, there were some
Same
trade-offs.
ballpark.
They were actually adequate across the board. They weren't the best in anything,
no.
but they weren't the worst in anything. We tried AMXs, we tried Crestrons, we tried
What was it, the DGX series?
yeah, and the pricing was almost the median. It just didn't make any sense, and it was just good enough. And the programming, the GUI section of it was easy for the entire staff to.
I was going to say that was a
use.
big part of it. Was we kind of coerced Extron to come out and do a training course for the entire staff, and we brought who else came down? Creighton came in, and there were some other schools. Did KU send anybody over?
I think KU might have. Creighton
But it was like
there,
5 or
KU,
6
Rockhurst
schools.
came across.
Yeah, Rockhurst from next door came over. So we're like, hey, if we can get you a room, we can do a training course. They did like a 2 or 3 day training course and got pretty much the whole staff certified on it. So that was a big kind of not selling point, but a big like benefit to going with that system.
So with that summer, we had just kind of solidified that that's what we were going to go with for the remainder. And that summer, we put in kind of the first 2 or 3, right? And so the first 2 or 3 being, Chris had just come from Extron, or there recently.
Several years earlier, but yeah.
And so he programmed those first 2 or 3, and then skip town. But we'll get to that story later. But that was that summer, and I didn't realize it. And then what's really kind of funny is we're giving Justin shit about his stuff lasting forever. Most of those things are still in place. Those ones we put in that summer, they're still out there rocking and rolling. Haven't gone back and changed them. It was the first of the Panasonic, the 370 laser projectors. We started buying those and putting those in.
The hybrid lasers.
Yeah, most of those are still out there. Because these were all in centrally scheduled rooms. But that was like that first transition really into digital transport and moving things around with HD-based-T and trying to figure out EDIT tables and having a staff that the entire staff did programming, not just a single programmer. No, it was now that I look back at all the emails, that was an interesting summer. Now that I look back on it, but I think the biggest challenge was it was all new to everybody. I mean, we were coming from the year before, we were deploying the 2-wire HDMI extenders. Remember the skew-free cabling BS that you had to use? So having HD-based-T and programming it yourself, it was kind of this enlightening for the entire staff. And I'll give Chris credit, right? He was trying to help lead that way, and then he decided to get in his little Flintstones car and wheel his way out of town.
So you first started using HD-based-T in 2015?
No, we were using it in 2012.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was but it was like Crestron DM. It was a little bit different.
okay, all right, all
We finally said, no, this is it. There is no more VGA. We're doing this. We're going all in. Everything's going to be digital from here on out.
I was thinking we transferred to HD-based-T way earlier than 2015.
It was still a little expensive. Yeah, it was a little expensive. It was just, we were still learning how to figure it out. Analog was still cheap at that point. You get VGA on everything.
Yeah, and you could still for those what do you call it, budget spaces, you could do RGB HV or something to still make it work.
Yeah.
But no, Justin, to your point, I mean, yeah, in 2 jobs previous to that, I was doing like Jamie said, the HDMI extensions, non-HD based T, because HD based T really didn't launch until like 2010, 2011, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And this would have been like 2008-9 time frame, and we were doing digital extension, but it was all proprietary stuff. It was 2-wire. It was it was annoying, but
And it was pricey, and you still had to count keys. Remember, we had to keep track of how many HDMI
still
keys
technically
you
you're supposed to
have,
do
and-
that. You keep a list of those.
Oh yeah,
We have a whole database.
tons.
cabinet. Back
Oh
there.
man, I bought 2 of those original AMX.
Round trip 16 milliseconds.
What were they? The
Wasn't that all
Opta.
just the focus of the whole industry at that time? Everybody was so worried about it, and everybody's worried about
was
how
a big
fast
deal back
something
in the day.
switches.
Well,
Nobody gives a shit
and
anymore.
the concern was always like, but I'm going to plug in a Blu-ray, and how many displays can I get it on? It was just,
One,
Why?
3,
Sports bar.
that's it.
Who cares?
and it's
Why are you
starts
playing Blu-ray and sports bars?
flashing in and out, and you get the green and the snow, and it would take 10 seconds to sync. Oh, it was terrible.
And then somebody came out with something that switched faster, and everybody's like, "Oh, I'll spend $5 million more for that." And you're like,
You know who didn't say that?
me.
anybody?
I just remember a lot of that marketing at the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't
yeah.
it crazy? 10 years ago, that was crazy.
Well, and that was all the thing that you'd have a couple big
Fast
companies
switching.
doing their shootouts and like, oh, we don't have to use a scaling chip to do this, and look how fast it switches, and you don't have to worry about the different resolutions. All this, just like
I mean, at the time, I thought I needed to care about it. Now I look back at it, I was like, what a waste of brain power that I did research in that crap.
I remember it taking a while, and yeah, I did care back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like, why did we care about fast switching? Like, who
Oh,
cares?
I remember, like, I used to sell the laser, sell the laser. Like, why would I want to buy a laser projector? Because it was more expensive. And I would set the laser projector next to the lamp-based one and turn it on. And the fact it came on in like 25 seconds, everybody's like, fine, here's my money.
That's
Wow.
that's a big deal.
It was,
Yeah,
but it
that
seems
was-
stupid now, right?
Well,
I still have
not
rooms.
really.
I still have rooms with lamp projectors because someone was still playing that game in like 2019, saying like, "Oh, it's $200 cheaper. We'll get that one." I'm like, "No, that's wrong because when you have to replace the lamps, apparently my time is priceless." So, Jamie, you mentioned that I was there for the kind of the shootout and setting up some of those processes and things in 2015. I did get kicked out of town. I was running out of town on a rail, forced to move 2 towns over.
It was 2 rails.
So,
Two
so
rails.
2015 for me was interesting because, for a back to school perspective, I was at UMKC until to start the semester there. We got the
Yes.
the first 2 weeks of the semester in. So it was right around Labor Day that I left and took a job at Oregon State, where a week later classes started. So I got to do back to school twice that year for 2 different schools.
That would be miserable.
It was fine. But that was also when we were, and if Mark was here, he'd tell you more about it, but we were standing up that brand new building, and you've all seen the photos, and you guys have all been in it, but everyone else listening has seen the photos of the round room with the 8 projectors and all that stuff. So it was that summer. So I get there, and we kind of like, all right, here's this giant brand new monstrosity with all this different stuff, with that new active learning spaces and round rooms and parliament-shaped rooms and all these different things. Make it work. And it was, as we've talked about many times, one of those big projects where it was handed off from a consultant and the GC and a commercial integrator, and they hand it off, and they're like, there you go. And then you spend the next like 2 semesters kind of really making it work the way you want it to, because it didn't quite get there. And one of the big hurdles we had there at that time was the forced migration of laptops, computers, and whatnot with embedded digital audio. Because if you recall, back in the day, you'd
That was
still
a
have
deal.
that like second 3.5 millimeter line for audio. And these were some of the first computers started shipping that didn't have that, and you were required to embed it. And a lot of devices in 2015 were not happy about embedded audio. And, did you break it out? Did you have to embed it, then de-embed it? And there was all these like little workarounds to make it happen. And it took, probably the better part of a year or so to really get that dialed in to the point it was reliable. And we were still at that point, you'd always you'd sneak that extra analog line out from the little, cable device on the lectern. So if someone still needed that, or they wanted to plug in their phone or whatever, they still could. And that was, a big challenge of having that debate. And I remember specifically having that discussion with the team there it was early September, October, right after classes had started, of like, well, which way are we going to go on this? And we had people pushing back, like, analog's more reliable. Analog is, going to work all day long, but digital was clearly the way things were going. So we had to make sure our system supported digital audio embedded from all sources. And that was a huge lift to get that sorted out. So that was 10 years ago. There you go. 10 years ago was also the summer where I really learned, or that fall, I guess, the start of school that year, really learned how to wrangle EDIDs to make your crap work everywhere, because, all Macs are broken. And you still hear that from people. In fact, when we were at Northwest Met this spring, we were discussing EDID, and we asked the crowd, how many of you still go in and like leave it on auto, you disable HDCP, all that stuff. And there's people out there who still do that because there is a major manufacturer who still recommends doing it that way until you really push back on them that that's not cool and please stop doing that. So, it's been a journey. Let's say that. So good commentary, everybody. All right. So any other thoughts on 10 years?
I was trying to think when we really started digging into the EDID, and I think you're right. It was that summer.
It was about then
that the DMPS had a good interface for you to start digging into that.
Just click default.
Just click default until you find out that default changes depending on your firmware version. So, Justin, to your point, you bring this up a lot. You can click default, click auto, do whatever, as long as you know what it's autoing. But a lot of times people don't. They just leave it on that, and they don't know.
So just real quick, Justin, because Larry already kind of went through it. What was different, like your personal role 10 years ago than it was today?
I think the big difference of what I'm working on now is I'm working on, simultaneously a big indoor football field with esports, forensics, and all kinds of baseball locker rooms and crap. And that's literally getting built. And I'm designing on the fly because that consultant didn't get fired, but I don't know, just didn't show back up. So
just didn't show up this
disappeared.
He was actually fine.
Not been heard from in 90 days.
I just think the biggest problem is they brought in a consultant for a renovation, and the consultant's like, yeah, I need to know where all your stuff is. And so that was a big communication issue. He was fine. And then the one I'm working on right now is Cherry Hall. That's a new building. So a lot of big construction, they're really, I don't think there's a big difference other than like I might have made my processes more efficient.
Were you in support at all back then? Because I know now, like, there's a pretty clear distinction between your role and my role.
Yeah.
I design, but I'm also kind of in charge of the support side as well.
Yeah, we were still, it was just a little bit earlier than that where we were structured different to where like one side of it, and this is weird too. This was just history of why this happened. Some of us in AV was doing everything but video conferencing, and then you had a video conferencing group.
Yes.
So
that's common. Yep.
But we all had one boss, but you supported your systems, and then we supported our own systems that we put in. And that's been changing, and it's fluid over time. And now we've got more of a structured help desk approach, which is fine. It's got its advantages and disadvantages,
Yeah, because I was asking because like I was a worker bee.
Yeah.
Right. And I was putting all this stuff in and still trying to program. It was kind of designing, not like I did today, right? But now, it's administration. So like my frustrations these last couple of weeks have all been, how am I protecting and keeping my staff being able to do their job? How am I protecting them from this stupid, because we have an administration that comes, they're like, because they do come from vacation. They're like, oh, well, hey, how things going? Busy. Leave me alone. And so that's been really different this year, because even last year was my first real year returning to school as administrator, but everybody gives you a pass because it's your first few months.
Yeah.
But this year,
Wait, you get a pass?
okay. I just kind of forced to
I was
pass
gonna
on.
say,
it.
or you just ignored it.
Yeah, basically, like I don't know. I'm
It's
new.
my first day.
So
Yeah,
I think
see,
all
it
of
works.
you have like increased your promotions and careers and all that, and I've been flat on purpose because I didn't want a management job. I'm running a business, and that's kind
Yeah.
of my side of what I'm doing to.
Yeah.
And then what I do for WKU is like, yeah, let's just stick with that.
And I
just
avoided
leave
it
it
for a
there.
long time, but this has been a cool little kind of flashback of like when it was a worker bee, I was the one trying to get overtime. I was the one coming in on the weekends.
Yeah.
I was the one stressing out because if I had to go support it the day of or training teachers at the last minute, and now I'm the one that's protecting all those people.
Yeah.
Like I want them to go do their job and be good at it. So how do I keep them from having to answer dumb questions like, "Are you done yet?" Right. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And so it's just been kind of this. Before we got on the show, I was griping to Larry about, this sucks. But now that we've had this little flashback,
have
it's
missed
like,
it.
it's
I guess I
different.
missed all that.
It is different. Huh. Okay. That's all I got. Chris has been like 7 different places, so it's always different.
Yeah, since then, let's see. Do we count? Do I get 2 for 10 years ago?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so then it would have been 1, 2. So it'd be 5.
Only 5. That's not cool.
All right.
Well, and after we'll see how this weekend goes. Maybe looking for number 6. But yeah, it's a busy time for us. So I will just say, all of our stuff, the stuff that I'm responsible for,
Aha.
in good shape. However,
That same here.
however,
Kind
it doesn't matter who is responsible for what thing in the space. It's just an IT problem, and my
There.
group has the name of the space you're in, so it's on me. Yep.
Yep. So just try to make it happen.
See what happens.
All right. Well, good luck, boys.
Well, you guess we'll go back to school. I don't know.
Back to school. To school. To dad. I'm not a fool. I got my lunch packed up. My boots tied tight.
Thanks for putting up with
I
yet another
hope I
episode of
don't
AV
get
SuperFriends
in
on
a
Topic.
fight.
You can contact us
Oh,
with
back
questions,
to
topic ideas,
school.
or general complaints
Back
at
to
avsuperfriends.com.
Back to school.
Sorry, that didn't fade.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV SuperFriends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.